Think the era of luxury trains died in the 1970s? Think again. In 1989, an American entrepreneur attempted to revive the golden age of luxury rail travel by creating the American Orient Express. For nearly 2 decades, this train carried passengers across America on multi-day journeys with 5-star accommodations, gourmet dining, and observation cars that rivaled any 5-star hotel. While the original failed to sustain operations, its story reveals something profound about what Americans were willing to pay for when it came to train travel. Today, you're going to discover what the American Orient Express was and why it couldn't survive despite incredible popularity. Get ready to understand why luxury train travel keeps coming back. Because some experiences refuse to die. The American Orient Express operated from 1989 to 2008, operating luxurious overnight trains across America. The concept was elegant: partner with Swiss railway operators who had successfully run luxury trains in Europe, renovate historic sleeping cars from America's golden age of rail travel, and operate multi-day journeys across the American landscape. The trains featured sleeping cars restored to their original 1920s-1950s grandeur, dining cars offering 5-star cuisine, and observation cars with 360-degree views. Passengers paid premium prices, sometimes $10,000 or more for a single journey, and they came willingly. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore how the American Orient Express attempted to revive luxury rail travel, what made it special, and why it ultimately couldn't sustain operations despite tremendous demand. This is the story of a dream that almost worked. The American Orient Express was created by a partnership between American entrepreneurs and Swiss tourism and railway operators who had successfully operated luxury trains in Europe for decades. The Swiss partners understood luxury hospitality and railway operations at a level that American companies had largely abandoned. Their vision was simple: find abandoned historic sleeping cars scattered across America, restore them to period condition, combine them into luxury trains, and operate multi-day journeys across scenic American routes. What made this vision special was its authenticity. Rather than building new trains designed to look vintage, the American Orient Express used actual historic equipment sleeping cars that had once carried presidents and celebrities during the golden age of rail travel. The restoration process was meticulous, returning cars to their original condition while adding modern infrastructure for contemporary comfort and safety. Passengers weren't riding in reproductions, they were riding in genuine artifacts of American transportation history. The American Orient Express operated multiple routes, each designed to showcase different American landscapes and regions. The Southwest Chief Route traveled through New Mexico and Arizona. The Heartland route crossed the Great Plains. The Pacific Northwest route traversed Washington and Oregon. Each journey lasted between 3 and 7 days, allowing passengers to experience America at train speed slow enough to observe landscape details, fast enough to cover significant distances. What made these routes special was their design. Rather than simply connecting major cities, routes were chosen to showcase scenic beauty and historic regions. Journeys included stops at small towns, national parks, and heritage attractions. Passengers disembarked for guided tours while the train traveled to the next overnight stop. The experience combined rail travel with tourism and cultural immersion. It was transportation, hotel, and tour company all rolled into one. The sleeping cars on the American Orient Express featured individual suites with private bathrooms, comfortable beds, heating and air conditioning, and period decor that transported passengers back to the 1920s and 1930s. The dining car offered multi-course meals, prepared fresh on board by professional chefs. The observation car featured comfortable seating, full bars, and 360-degree windows. The lounge car provided spaces for socializing and entertainment. Every detail was designed to make passengers feel like they had stepped into the golden age of train travel. What made these accommodations special was that they combined historic authenticity with contemporary comfort. Passengers experienced genuine vintage equipment while enjoying modern plumbing, electrical systems, and climate control. The beds were comfortable, the food was exceptional, the service was impeccable. The experience felt genuinely luxurious, not like a museum exhibit, but like what luxury train travel actually was during the Golden Age. Passengers paid substantial prices for American Orient Express journeys, typically ranging from $5,000 to $15,000 per person for multi-day trips. This wasn't cheap transportation. This was experiential luxury travel, where the journey was the destination. The pricing reflected the costs of operating heritage trains, small passenger counts, high operating expenses, specialized staff, and limited revenue potential per train. What made the pricing structure significant was that despite these costs, demand exceeded supply. The trains frequently ran fully booked. Waiting lists existed for popular routes. Passengers considered the experience worth the premium pricing. They chose the American Orient Express specifically because it offered something that modern trains and airlines could not: the experience of traveling at a different pace, seeing America from observation cars, sleeping in vintage sleeping cars, and dining with other passengers who shared enthusiasm for rail travel. Despite strong passenger demand, the American Orient Express faced fundamental economic challenges. Operating vintage trains required specialized maintenance. Historic equipment broke down more frequently than modern trains. Staffing costs were high because service had to be impeccable. Fuel costs rose steadily. Regulatory compliance for vintage equipment became increasingly expensive. The company operated on thin profit margins despite premium pricing. What made these challenges insurmountable was that they were structural, not temporary. Running heritage trains cost significantly more than operating modern trains. The market, while enthusiastic, was too small to absorb these costs indefinitely. The company attempted various solutions: reducing costs, raising prices, operating different routes. None fundamentally solved the economics. Eventually, after nearly 2 decades of operation, the American Orient Express ceased operations in 2008. What's remarkable about the American Orient Express is that its ending wasn't permanent. After closure, some of its restored cars ended up with heritage railroads. Others were acquired by new operators attempting similar concepts. Hudson River Rail Excursions now operates restored 20th century limited cars on scenic routes. Other companies continue operating luxury train experiences. The dream that the American Orient Express pioneered, that Americans would pay premium prices for luxurious rail travel, persists. The question remains whether anyone can successfully operate such trains profitably. The American Orient Express proved something that rail companies had forgotten. Americans did want luxury train travel. They wanted to experience travel as a destination rather than just transportation. They wanted to see landscapes from observation cars. They wanted to sleep in vintage sleeping cars. They wanted to eat gourmet meals while traveling across America. What proved impossible was sustaining this desire economically. The dream couldn't survive the mathematics of rail operations. Yet nearly 2 decades of successful operation proved the dream was real. If you've enjoyed this story about the American Orient Express and the enduring appeal of luxury train travel, please like this video and subscribe for more stories about the dreams that shaped American railroads.